Sometimes you just gotta draw some lines. So what I like to do sometimes when I'm really not in the mood to create anything big is just take a pen or a pencil and just start scribbling away some lines on a page. Now I found this old drawing that it was in this old visual journal book. There's a Strathmore Visual Journal Bristol book. And I don't use it very often. I used to carry that around with me when I go draw around some things and just do some quick sketches, because you're not going to put any watercolor on it. It's Bristol paper, so it's just for sketching. Pencil. You can do some ink, like the marker ink. You can do that in there, and I did do that in there, but you can't really, I wouldn't do watercolor in it. It's just, it doesn't look right. It soaks in. It gets very dull. Not good. So I was flipping through it. I found it. I was flipping through it, and I found a drawing that I only had partially completed. And I wanted to finish it. I looked at it. I said, oh, that's kind of interesting. Let me add some more lines to it. I just want to draw some lines anyway. Let's see what I can do with it. So let's see if I can get anything interesting out of this. I don't know, but at least I'll get that energy out of wanting to just draw lines without having anything else in mind. All right, let's take a look. Okay, so this is what I'm starting out with. You have just, I don't usually do the vertical format thing, but in this one, this is the book, so that's exactly what I did. You can see there next to my hand, it's obviously not a very big book, but I looked at it and it started driving me nuts that I didn't finish this. I don't know why. I must have started it and then something happened and I put the book away and I just never looked at it again. I used to take this book with me in my bag when I went to work, but I don't do that anymore. So I usually have the gray book that I travel with in my bag when I go to work and when I do some things, and I just pull it out and I can start just sketching away, whatever you want to call it, and just do that. But this one, it just bugged me. So I said, you know what? It looks interesting. I got to try and make something with it. I did. I worked on it for a while. And it felt good to say, okay, this piece is done, and now I'm complete with it. So, sometimes you're not really sure what's going on, so you just got to draw some lines. I could have done a lot of other things here, but I enjoy drawing just random lines and connecting them and trying to make them look interesting, add a little depth to them, and see what happens. Okay, now I want you to stay till the end because 2 people have sent in some artwork, and I want to just go ahead and show that to you and point out a couple things about them. And there were a couple things I thought were very interesting. And one, you see the process of where someone starts to now take color and add ink work to it. And they're just beginning that process. So, and the other person would just wanted to share some artwork with us. So that's what we're going to do here. So let me know. I don't know if you want me to share this with you or not, but I was going to share like one of those, this is how much YouTube paid me the first 2 months I've been monetized. If you are at all interested in that kind of information, please let me know. I can make that video. It's very easy. It's very simple to do. It's a short video. Don't worry. If those of you who do not like that, it'll be like a Thursday video or something like that. You barely even notice that it happened. But if someone does want to know that, let me, because some of you do have other channels out there. You're not monetized yet. Maybe you want to see what someone like me would get for making these videos. This is not, but anyway, we're going to go into it. If that's something you want to see, let me know and I'll make that video. It'll be a short one. But so I just want to talk to you a little bit about some things. When I look back at my life, we're always looking at moments in our life and we see things through those rose-colored glasses, and sometimes we remember things kind of in a great way when things were not great at all, or sometimes worse than they actually were. Our memories suck. That's how humans are. Your memory is not really like a movie. It's more like our current media pieces. They're heavily influenced by how we're feeling at the time. Most of the time it's not really honest information, it's just our slant on it. But when I look back at my life, I try to look at it as like a tragic comedy. that the critics hated, of course, but the audience that it was intended for loved it. So kind of like the writing sucked, but the characters were very memorable, and there was a lot of laughter and crying. It was kind of like the last Clerks movie. There was not very widely accepted, and yet the true fans really liked it, and there was some laughing and there was some crying. But you have to understand, when you look back at those moments, you're gonna make of them what you want. Some people are very over dramatic and they try and make things so intense when they really weren't. But at the time they could have seemed intense, so maybe that's why you look back at it that way. Other people, they don't even understand how to look back at these things, and they just look at it like, this is no big deal. I had no idea. I was just too young to know better. And that's, people just write that off. But if you think back to in the moment at the time when you were having different feelings and different things were happening, those are the biggest things going on in the universe at that time, because that's all you really had in your life. So when you're younger, it may have like where you got into an argument with a friend and that was it. You're never talking to them ever again. But really, it wasn't a big deal. It was over something stupid. You realize that later and then you say, oh, why was I so stupid? But at the time, that's all you had. So that was a big deal because that's all there was. And people still do this today. When you look at stuff in your life, you say, oh, maybe this in 10 years is not going to be anything. But when it happens now, I'm in the middle of it. So it's a big deal. But try and look at things with like an upbeat attitude. Like you're looking back in time and you're saying, oh, that was silly. Don't worry about that. That wasn't a big deal. Because everybody likes to take like their current circumstance and push it back on their past. Oh, this is why I'm like this, and this is why I'm so angry all the time, and this is what... Just look back. I know everybody goes through crap. Everybody goes through very tough times, and sometimes it's not so tough. And sometimes you have a great childhood, and sometimes you look at moments you say, look, that really sucked in my childhood, and I will never like to, for anyone to go through that the way that I did. And so those things happen, but you have to, in order to get forward, you have to look at those things kind of different and say, look, I made it through that. Everything's wonderful now. Now, maybe it's not, but I at least made it through that, and I'm a better person for it. And I can look back at it and laugh, even if it doesn't deserve to be laughed at. I can laugh at it, and I can just walk away. I can move on, get past it, and that's what you have. Some people can't let things go. I let everything go. I don't really hold a grudge with anything ever, but some people can't let that go. I'm not going to say her name, but my wife, she has a hard time letting things go with people. Not with me. With me, she gets over things very quickly, and I'm very grateful for that. But with other people, you piss her off once, and you're just on the list. That's it. And she's not going to be nice to you next time. And she doesn't hide it very well. And I'm not saying that... Well, yes, I am. I'm saying that she does that. But that's okay, because she doesn't do that with me. So I'm fine with it. That's not my problem. That's everybody else's problem. So... And I'm not saying anything bad about her. She's a wonderfully sweet person. She'll do anything for anyone if she can. It's just when someone gets to her, it's just, you stab her in the back one time and she doesn't forget it. That's all. But I don't hold on to anything. There are people that were terrible to me in the past, and I've been able to meet them in the present and say, hey, how's it going? What's going on? How's everything going with you? And they were terrible to me, practically destroyed part of my life. And I really never wanted to, at that point in time, I never wanted to see them ever again. And still, today, if I see them, I just, oh, hey, how you doing? It's just, I start over again. Because people are not always who they were. And sometimes they get better and sometimes they get much worse. But they got to show that to me. I have no problem with that. Let's move on. Okay, so this first one is from Anna, and she just started doing the color and then adding the ink, and she's still learning that. But here's what I will say. She started out by putting faces and little creatures and things. That's always where your eye is going to be drawn to, so that's a great way to start. You want to do that. You want to do something that maybe can draw your eye to somewhere. And if you're not sure how to do that right away, an eye or a face or a creature or something that maybe looks familiar is the best way to do it. So great job, Anna, and we look forward to more from you. Okay, these next few are from Pam, and I'm going to put the link to her channel down below because if you remember from previous videos, she just started a channel, and I went ahead and gave that link, but I'm going to give it again. She does these kinds of things here, this type of art, and one of the things that I really enjoy about it is the faces look very expressive, like something's happening there. You want to understand it, so you look at it more. And even though she has a definite style to her art, you can tell little things where she's experimenting with new ideas, but still adding to what she's already done. And that's something I encourage everyone to do. You just take what you've been doing and just add little things and see what sticks. And if you like it, that's great. You could take it to the next one. So Pam, thank you for sharing these with us, and hopefully you'll be sending more in the future. Well, that's really it. This was a short one. And thumbs up the video if sometimes you have to just look back at your life and realize it's okay. Everything's okay and I'm okay. And let's move forward. Or you can thumb up the video if you like to just keep drawing lines when you really don't know what to do. Even though like 90% of the time on this drawing, I did dots instead of lines. So that was a moot point. And so, but that's okay. It's just, don't worry about that part. Just thumb up the video anyway. Alright, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one.